Well, there we are. All right, there we are. You know, I've tried to avoid coming out here and doing any blogs for a good while now. I mean, you know what's going on in our nation as well as I do, or at least you should. You might say, well, Pastor Bill, maybe you ought to have put that tinfoil hat back on, because all those things that you've been saying, I mean, you know, about an October surprise, well, that didn't happen. Well, there were a lot of surprises in October. I mean, you know, look at the war that's going on between Israel and Iran, and indeed most of the world right now, and along with North Korea being in Russia to fight with them. And I mean, the list just goes on and on. It's a mess out here in our world today. Now, today is election day, and I'm going to tell you that right here at our house, we are marked safe from voting socialist. There's no voting socialist going on in this place. But if you think that it's going to be a fair and upright election, I'm sorry to tell you that it won't be. You know, I've been watching some of the things that are going on in other places, and you know, surprise, surprise, in states like Pennsylvania and other key so-called swing states. Imagine that, of all things, the machines just are refusing to scan the ballots. And they're telling people, well, you can wait until we get another one and scan it, or, you know, we'll just scan it for you later on. Yeah, right. We know how that works. Now, I can tell you that here our machine did work. But one thing that I did notice, if I wanted to vote for anyone that has an R after their name, you have to punch that thing hard, sometimes two or three times before it'll mark it. For things that don't have an R on it, it's simple. You just touch. I'm just saying. You know, we had a similar kind of election go on in 2020, where it seemed as though everything might turn out all right. And then, you know, lo and behold, what happened? Yeah. Kind of like I remember this fella, he was talking about it just a while ago in the house as I was watching. You know, back in the day when we had paper ballots, there didn't seem to be any problem with the ballots being counted and the totals turned in before the night was over. Within just a few hours, you had the total number of votes. But now that we have all of these electronics, all of the computer programs, somehow it's supposed to take 2 weeks or longer because computers are slower than people. No. No. Fences have been put up around what? Fences have been put up around the Capitol. Fences have been put up around the White House. Fences have been put up around Kamala's house. In blue state, Washington, D.C. is 95% blue, but they put up huge fences around all of these places. Stores are are boarding up windows. What's going on in Washington and Oregon and California today? Because you can bet they're preparing for something nasty to happen, just like Washington, just like other cities on the East Coast, and well, let's just throw Chicago into the mix because I mean that's about as socialist a country as you can get. Yeah, I called it a country. It's a city. I know that. But because of it another city or two in Illinois, it is a blue state. It's not because the majority of the people want it to be so, but because the city wants it to be so. I'm just saying. I think y'all better be watching what's going on. Now, I've said it before, this is the last election that we're probably going to have as any form of a free election. My opinion. I'm entitled to it today. Am I entitled to it tomorrow? Probably not. I can expect a great deal of things to be taking place over the next few days and weeks and months. Remember, a new president would not be sworn in until January the 20th. So all kinds of things can still happen. There's still plenty of time for stuff to happen. And I'm telling you, I think no matter what the outcome of this election, that it's going to happen. It's already been laid out. It's already been planned. Everything's already in place. And nothing is going to be the same again, ever, in the United States of America, regardless of how the election might turn out, if it were a real election. But I don't believe that it is. I don't believe that it'll be allowed to be a real election. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that I'm just dead wrong, that the election goes off just perfect and the American people have the opportunity to have things the way that they desire it. Because I'm going to tell you a fact, a great portion of the American citizens do not like what's been going on. We do not like the runaway inflation. We do not like this idiotic stuff that's going on with the gender equality stuff. We don't like that gender fluidity mess. We don't like all this garbage that's being crammed down our throats. We remember what it was like 4 years ago when we had a real president instead of a socialist puppet. And if you thought that socialist puppet was bad, wait until this one takes in effect, if they manage to install her. Oh, we need a black woman as president. She's just about as black as Pocahontas is Indian. I'm just saying it. I know you don't like it. It's just the truth. If old Master Gunny Sergeant was still around, I think he'd be telling you to suck it up, Buttercup, because stuff's about to get real. And I think you better be prepping. You better be watching and getting someone to watch you six. Don't go into these liberal loon cities unprepared. If you're there now, get out now while you still have a chance. Who knows what tomorrow holds? Get ready. You've been warned. Bye.